welcome back to the GSL Code. I am Wolf, and with me is Calder. We are in our second section of matches today, and you know what? First up, we have Keen against NesTea. It's going to be awesome. I'm a little bit caught up on the fact that we have NesTea here, but let's not forget to mention. I'm just like so excited, I'm starting over my words. We have Pult playing later. We have Ganji playing later. We have MMA.
You know the intro? The intro that always starts and you see those faces of all the great Kodes players, and today we have two of them here. And I was just looking at it and I was like, nice to see, yeah, he's going to be here today. And it was just like a little bit awkward, but well, I don't mind casting them.
Isn't it 3 actually? Because Pult and Ganji are on that as well.
Yeah, Pult is in there as well, you're right.
Pretty sick lineup of players, guys. I don't know what else to say. Go and make sure you check out the winner's prediction, by the way.
If Ganji's in there, then it's actually 4 MMA as well, so...
Yeah. Wow. I'm like, that's our screen that you guys will be taking a look at later. But here are our results from earlier today. We had Boom Boom, Seed, or excuse me, Symbol.
Yesterday.
Yeah, that was yesterday. My bad, guys.
So this is also yesterday.
Yeah.
And we have the interviews with
let's just
players who won.
We're going to take a look at some winners' interviews, but those are our results from yesterday as well. Have no fear. We don't need to read those to you guys, I think you guys read them already. I thought we were about to jump in the interviews. I was like, well, I don't want to be cut off of reading to you guys, but I guess we're going to actually read all of these. So
these are today's games, so
spoiler
there's no
alert.
spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler alert, by the way, guys. If you guys don't want to see what happened earlier today,
안녕하세요,
don't
해피
listen to this.
야노지입니다. 오늘 경기가 좀 생각대로 잘 풀려서 좀 수월하게.
They were for him, man. He literally just went back 2 games in a row and did the same build. And just, it was actually really easy for him. Surprising victory over Young.
I did not expect it, but he played so well, he definitely deserved to take the series.
Yep. And here is Creator, who definitely got pretty lucky in his final game, but did, you know, he said he didn't show great matches, but actually his matches were decent, for sure.
He had a little bit of a problem in the last match, and probably should have won it, but because of some mistakes in his unit control. We watched the replay after the game and just reviewed everything, and yeah, he could have won it. Creator a little bit lucky here, but he comes out the victor.
Yeah, and he knows it too, you know. In that interview, even he was like, well, I'm sorry, I didn't actually show the best games. My condition wasn't very good. He's like, I still won, but I'm going to try to manage my condition better.
And we have the first game, which was actually the series that impressed me the most. It was just very out of the ordinary lure against Yu-Gi-Oh! And now we have the matches of the second group with our starting players. Keen against NesTea. We have Suishin against MMA later on, and Ganji will play against Pult, and our Terran Mirror before Killer is taking on OGS Finn. Very interesting games, a lot of amazing players here, and this is just a sick group.
Now the sickest part of the group for me today is, you know, I'm very objective when it comes to this sort of casting and things like that. But today, if Pult wins, I'll probably get to eat dinner with him and Coach Lee. And if he loses, I probably don't get to eat dinner with Coach Lee and Pult, because that's just how it goes when players lose. I'm really excited though, because I wanted to eat dinner with Pult for a long time. I have a lot of questions to ask this guy. He speaks really good English. But let's talk more about this specific match we have coming up first. It's going to be Keen against NesTea. NesTea, a player who recently has not been looking as dominant as before. He's been sticking with the old school style of ZBT. He's been sticking with the Mutalist style. He's playing against Keen, someone who has a really cool hairstyle, but more importantly, actually is one of the most inconsistent players to ever be in the GSL. He sometimes shows great matches, sometimes it's like, what is this guy thinking?
Yeah, exactly. I've casted a lot of his games because he plays tons of online tournaments as well, and sometimes he is just in... He's just in a shape that you can't beat. I remember a lot of TBT games that he played against Pult, and he completely dominated Pult. And a day later, he plays his GSL matches, and I'm like, okay, this guy is looking completely different from what I observed yesterday. So it's pretty interesting to see, something to note about Keen. And yeah, he looked very, I would say, tense when we watched him in the booth. I actually just tweeted a picture of him. He looked kind of confident when he was on camera, but if you just had a glimpse at him when he did not realize someone was looking, he looked a little bit tensed up, and he's up against NesTea, so I don't blame the guy. NesTea playing awesome lately, especially against Terran. He was able to defeat Alive at Iron Squid. And our first map today is Atlantis Space Bear.
Yeah, Atlantis Space Bear, really, really huge map. I'm actually not a really big fan of this map. It's something we've talked about a lot before.
Yeah.
It's just so big that it does eliminate a lot of strategies. It's going to be a pretty good map, though, for a Zerg to start on. As a Zerg player will feel a little bit more comfortable on this map in some ways. So it's going to be good for NesTea. We'll see if Keen can capitalize on this. How much of a macro game can he play on this massive map? We'll find out. This is the GSL Code with Caldor and Wolf. This is game 1 between Keen and NesTea.
Here we go to the top of the map. We have in the red color our Terran player. In this first match of the day, we have the MVP player. It is
MVP King.
MVP Keen, a little bit inconsistent in the past, as we said already. He sometimes plays amazing matches, and on other occasions he just completely falls apart. But he's up against a very strong Zerg. To the bottom left in the blue, it is...
I am NesTea.
And the thing about NesTea is, as Wolf pointed out before we started the match, is that he is one of those players who will still stick to, I don't want to say old school, but the Mutalisk style that has been around for so long. And he just showed at Iron Squid how well he's actually able to control his Mutalisk. It is really something that you should watch and observe if you're a Zerg player. There's so much to learn. He knows exactly how to use his Mutalisk, and it's really incredible. He did so at IPL too, but the thing is that he was pretty tired and also very exhausted when he played his matches against Alive, and then at Iron Squid he had to face the Fnatic Terran player again. And he used the same strategies, and his unit control, it's just exceptional.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, to use this older style that was falling out of popularity, but to be able to do it well, not only is good because it's going to catch people off guard a little bit because they're not as accustomed to playing against the style anymore, but also it's impressive to know that something that has basically, not that it's stopped working, but it's just not working as well recently, it's still able, someone can still kind of push their way through is awesome. Look at this. This is
winner
90% for NesTea, man. I don't know if I would give him that much of a leg up on Keen, but he definitely has. I would have expected something like 65 to 70.
With his performance at Iron Squid, I think he's definitely the favorite here, and that is going to be pretty impressive. As I said, Keen sometimes with, I don't want to say in a slump, but he showed such amazing games, especially his TVT impressed me so much. I haven't casted any TVT games by him in the recent past, in the GSL that is, but sometimes he just plays so incredible, and especially in online tournaments where he's able to play from, in an environment that he really likes. He plays at the MVP house, and he can just, you are not nervous, you don't play in the studio, not on camera, so you can just relax. He's a great player. But is he really able to take down NesTea? That's the huge question here, and I certainly hope that we are going to see 3 games by those two, because this is my favorite match of the day.
This is going to be an awesome one for sure. I love being able to see players like NesTea play, because, you know, even though, for example, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is an awesome Zerg player, I feel like a lot of the time a player like NesTea, not only does he have a little more experience, but he just seems to be a little bit more refined in most ways. And I want to see players like Yu-Gi-Oh! Get to this level, but at the same time I want to make sure, is NesTea still at the same level? Are players like Yu-Gi-Oh! Passing? I mean, NesTea is in Code A right now. He had a tough Code S group that he fell down from, but I want to test him here. I want to see, how are you doing, NesTea? Are you actually still playing well? Let's see. And just that alone is like, we all expect him to be playing well, but who knows? It could be the opposite of what we expect. And just because this player is so well known, there's always this swirl, this stigma around him of, well, what's he going to do? Is he going to be still on top of his game?
We have double factory already. Will we see the second reactor? Is he going for double reactor factory Hellions?
I bet so, man.
I think so too, and this could get very, very nasty for NesTea. He has to be very careful. He is already taking a third at this point. He has gas, but we have him with how many queens? He actually has 3 at this point. Spreading creep, getting drones. It's a huge map, as we said. The Space Bear is watching. And here comes the Tech Lab. Could also be an attack with Marauders as well.
It's likely going to be, I think the Tech Lab is going to be for the second factory. He's going to go Blue Flame with 1 reactor. It could potentially, though, you're right, be Marauder Hellion push.
That's I just mentioned because that's something that I've seen him use in a lot of online tournaments. It's kind of a last resort very often, especially when you have lag. You try to go for all in your strategies. Paul does basically the same when he plays on the European server, but it's something that we see them occasionally pull off in the GSL as well. But there's the Blue Flame upgrade, so he goes for this Hellion attack, and if this is not scouted by NesTea, it could potentially do a lot of damage to the drones. We'll see. There have been a lot of players in the past who actually died to such attacks.
Yeah, they definitely have indeed. I'm thinking about this in a way where, see, NesTea right now is making a ton of Zerglings, and he has seen a few Hellions. It looks like, though, he potentially wants to put that Zergling aggression on his opponent that we've seen so many times, especially recently. Just a heavy Zergling pressure attack. But this is not going to be good against the type of build that Keen's doing. Nice cancels there on those tumors, by the way.
One thing that we did not see on screen is that the Overlord that tried to get some scouting information from the main base of Keen was actually repelled by a Marine. So he's still completely in the dark. He does not know about the 2 factories, and I don't think that Keen will show him too many Hellions. He will definitely keep his opponent in the dark until Blue Flame is done, and then he will attack with all of them, and will NesTea be ready. He doesn't have a Roachborn. He is relying on Zerglings, and I think he has only 1 Spinecrawler?
Yeah, only 1 as far as I know, and he's making the Evo chambers, but he's not making them as part of a wall. He's making them in his main base. And in fact, he has 0 Spinecrawlers right now. That was the
There's
only
the
one.
Blue Flame. He's attacking right away, and immediately NesTea pulls his units, pulls his probes. The Zerglings have to be very careful. The only thing that can save them is to surround. They are trying to surround the Hellions, but have a lot of problems here. And the Queen dies. More Hellions join the fun, and they are having a great time.
Yeah, 30 Zerglings in production, man, but Zerglings, doesn't matter if he has Infinity at this point, it's not going to do what he wants against these Hellions. He's trying to get us around, but Keen's control is actually just too good.
Wow, look at
Look
this.
at that. That's disgusting, man.
Oh my god, he's taking down so many Hellions. This is incredible. Spinecrawlers are being built, but more and more Hellions are now just in front of the main base of the Zerg player. 15 Hellions in total, and he only has Zerglings. He's getting Zerglings and Spinecrawler, but the Spinecrawlers have to be cancelled, and Wolf, this is so bad for NesTea right now.
Yeah, he actually should have been making spines as natural a long time ago, but he did not. Does not get canceled on any of these spines, by the way. They've all been killed, which is partially probably because NesTea's trying to buy as much time with them as possible. But he's only buying time to get more Zerglings out. Like you mentioned, he has no Roach Warren.
Yeah, there's no Roach Warren, no Spinecrawlers already. NesTea might just die here, Wolf.
I think he will, man. There's not much else he can do. He cannot stop these Hellions. They're now going to work on the economy. GG. Keen with not even an all-in, a very common pressure build. NesTea was not prepared. He had no spines prepared, not even 1. And his 3rd base was too risky. He was like, I'm playing on Atlantis Space Bear, it's fine. I'm going to be able to take my 3rd base, no problem. But in reality, actually, you have to be careful about stuff like this. You can't just play blindly. He did try to scout with the Overlord, but as you mentioned, he was denied by that Marine Scout. That's a very smart thing that Keen did. He made sure the Overlord could not scout.
Keen is having fun here. He played this very well. He expanded behind it too, so he had another command center coming up. He did not play it as a complete all-in. Obviously, you sacrifice quite a lot if you go for this build, but NesTea, he just wasn't ready. Usually, you just start with 1 Spinecrawler. You beat 1 Spinecrawler, and even a Roach Warren is not all that uncommon. I think with a Zergling, he could have scouted the 2nd factory as well. If I remember the placement correctly, he should have been able to spot it if he walks up the ramp. But really, on a map like this, NesTea tried to cut a few corners, and he was punished.
He was punished. It's normally what he did. Normally, actually does make sense. It's a map where if your opponent is a regular Hellion build, you probably hold it a little bit better. The Zerglings won't melt that quickly. You can get Spinecrawlers up. But in this case, man, it was Blue Flame with double factories. That's not a common strategy to see, but it finished him off. NesTea had no answer. He had no Roach Warren. He couldn't make the spines in time.
Hellions are always a constant danger, and this is just something that can happen. You have to be prepared for it. NesTea not too sad about his loss. He knows, okay, well, didn't really go my way. But the next map is Cloud Kingdom, and this is a map where NesTea loves to play Mutalisks.
Yeah, and in the chat, NesTea after the game, his opponent basically said politely, like, good job, and NesTea did not politely reply. And then Keen said, but seriously, this is a Zerg map. The next map is a Zerg map, so he feels very confident that Cloud Kingdom is a Zerg map. So I wanted to just put that out there as some additional information about how these players feel going into this next match. We'll see if NesTea can manage to hold off more aggression in this game, or play a longer one and tie up the series, or if Keen will just 2-0 and do a big upset here at the GSL Code A Round 2 with Caldor and Wolf.